Superman versus Thanos. It's one of the most iconic fights out there, one of the most powerful superheroes in DC going up against one of the most powerful supervillains in Marvel. The biggest threat the Avengers have ever faced against the most powerful member of the Justice League. So who's coming out on top? Who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, for this showdown, even though we're going to be limiting Superman to just the version from the DCEU, just make it movie versus movie, still, this guy's an absolute powerhouse. In fact, this version of Superman has shown some of the best raw physical feats that you'll ever see, which of course does make sense. He's Superman. He's been able to casually pull massive ships, lift up rocket ships, even fly around carrying an entire apartment building. Those are easily multi-ton feats right there. The guy's definitely strong. And all that strength also easily translates to when we see him in fights. Even in his very first fight against Zod and his Kryptonian warriors, well, Superman was kinda wrecking shop. Sure, they were able to get their own hits in, but Superman was still strong enough to dominate in a 2-on-1 fight. Then when he actually faced off against General Zod, well, he ended up killing him and destroyed basically all of Metropolis in the process. He showed off that same strength when he completely no-sold the Justice League and casually overpowered 3 of them at once. And these dudes are definitely strong. Then he also managed to fight and beat up Doomsday, even though he had been weakened from kryptonite right before and then got caught in a nuclear explosion in the middle of the fight. And he completely bodied Steppenwolf, a dude who can also fight against Doomsday. Heck, Superman even managed to overpower literal world-ending and world-shaping events. He's done it multiple times. He overpowered the beam sent out from the World Engine and then one-shot the machine. Then he did it again, ripping apart and overpowering the 3 mother boxes. So yeah, I say it again. Superman is like ridiculously strong. He's also crazy tough. I mean, we mentioned it in passing, but the guy straight up survived a nuclear explosion. And a pretty massive nuclear explosion at that, considering that you can see it from outer space. He's straight up destroyed mountaintops as he crashed back to Earth. He's taken attacks from Cyborg and Wonder Woman like it was nothing. Heck, Superman even no-sold an attack from Steppenwolf and his axe. That same guy was dominating all the rest of the JL, and like we mentioned, he had already had a fight against another version of Doomsday, and they destroyed a moon in their fight together. Superman completely no-sold those attacks. And speaking of Doomsday, well, he managed to take all sorts of attacks from Doomsday, including massive energy wave attacks that were leveling the city. But seriously, he took all sorts of attacks from Doomsday and from Zod, and for the most part, Superman has been able to take it all no problem. He's ridiculously tough. Thanos, the Mad Titan, the biggest threat to the universe, the Purple People Purger, terror to Earth, and the Avengers and the Guardians and all your favorite heroes. Born on the planet Titan, Thanos saw its days were numbered due to overpopulation. So Thanos came up with a solution: genocide. Completely random and fair to everyone, but half the planet wiped out. People called him mad, but Thanos was like, oh wow, this really worked. Let's apply it to the whole universe. So he went out searching for the Infinity Stones to wipe out half the universe with just a snap. And for starters, Thanos is really strong. Like, really strong. I mean, basically no one can beat him in a one-on-one fight. A lot of them have tried, some of them have gotten some good hits in, but they've all fallen. Each and every last one of them. Except if you've got chaos magic, I guess, or cosmic powers, or just of a JJ. Those seem to be his kryptonite for some reason. But seriously, Thanos went through a whole freaking gauntlet of heroes, beat each and every last one of them. He trashed Hulk, just absolutely destroyed the big green guy. And Hulk is the same guy who can one-shot Leviathans. He can even knock around Surtur when he was the size of a mountain. Thanos beat that guy easy. He beat Iron Man when right before that Tony got hit with a freaking meteor from outer space and didn't go down. He overpowered Thor and did it again and again and again. I mean, props to Thor for getting back up each time, but he was getting beat by Thanos each time. And Thor, well, he restarted the Forge and moved around the rings into the Valir, something that required hundreds of thousands of tons of force and power. Then he fought Captain Marvel, and he overpowered her too, sent her flying. The same girl who could do this. Then when he was wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, and I mean, you saw what that thing did to Hulk, right? Well, he was able to hold her back again with just one arm. He tore through Captain America's shield, crushed the Tesseract in the palm of his hand, ripped through vibranium, and plucked the Mind Stone straight from Vision's forehead. Thanos is ridiculously strong. Seriously, you don't want to cross this guy. You just don't. You're gonna get destroyed. And honestly, with everything Thanos has been through, he's almost like more than just tough. He's tougher than tough. He was able to take fire and take explosions, attacks from Iron Man and his repulsor blast, energy blast, and the whole like. Even lightning from Mjolnir and lightning from Stormbreaker. And that stuff can kill Leviathans. It can blow right through Outriders, do all sorts of damage, yet couldn't really damage Thanos. Then he took Scarlet Witch's Chaos Magic, the same thing that atomized Ultron bots and ripped through vibranium or tear out Ultron's heart. She couldn't really tear through Thanos in quite the same way. And then there's just using the Infinity Gauntlet and performing those snaps. I mean, the gauntlet itself is channeling enough energy where it'd be able to light up a whole continent. Thanos was still able to put this thing on and then go on and continue fighting against Captain Marvel. So it's pretty crazy just to be able to put it on. But it also requires an immense amount of strength to actually snap it. Hulk was the only one who's going to be strong enough to do it. Thor couldn't do it. Captain Marvel couldn't do it. Iron Man literally died when he did it. Hulk was the only one. And Thanos? Well, he did it twice. He was sending out energy surges of cosmic proportions, the kind no one had ever seen before. And while it did manage to injure Thanos, he still snapped twice. He was able to walk right through the Hulk, right through Thor, took attacks from Captain America, from Captain Marvel, from all the Avengers, from all the Guardians, from all of them. Thanos is easily the toughest fighter in the MCU. He's dang near impossible for any hero to put down. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. And I think for starters, you have to clarify that we're just talking about end-game Thanos here. No Infinity Gauntlet, just see what happens while he's battling Superman with that sword. Now, as we're comparing these two, I think Thanos is the stronger one. Because even if we're using what should be Superman's best strength feats, like shifting two tectonic plates while trying to stop an earthquake, that's not necessarily more impressive than what Thor's done in the MCU. Thor was able to move the rings into the Valir, a moon, or a dwarf planet at the very least. And Thanos was absolutely able to overpower Thor and kicked the God of Thunder's butt like it was nothing. And that's not even arguably the most impressive thing Thanos ever did. He tore through Captain America's shield, crushed the Tesseract in the palm of his hand, ripped through vibranium, and plucked the Mind Stone straight from Vision's forehead, Thanos is ridiculously strong. And if he's stronger than Hulk and stronger than Thor, well then I don't think it's much of a stretch to say he's stronger than Superman. Thanos is also arguably tougher than Superman too, because, well, nothing is really able to hurt Thanos. Now, I guess that's not entirely true. Scarlet Witch was able to hurt him, Cap kinda hurt him with the lightning, maybe he's a bit susceptible to magical attacks. But outside of that, well, nothing is really phasing him. Even attacks from Hulk and attacks from Thor, well, Thanos can shrug them off like it's nothing. And again, it's kinda hard to argue that these guys can't throw a mean punch when they're doing stuff like this. So it's more testament to just how tough Thanos is. But then again, it's kinda hard to say that Superman was actually being hurt by those attacks from Zod or Doomsday either, because he just jumped right back up from them each and every time. And Doomsday and Zod are both exceptionally strong too. Now, one thing you can definitively say for Thanos is that he's a more skilled and more experienced fighter. No doubt about that one. The man has conquered countless worlds single-handedly. He's fought against armies and defeated plenty of heroes. No one was able to stand in his way. When he started swinging that sword, well, watch out, no one was surviving it. Problem is, Superman has fought against this guy before. A super strong, super tough alien warlord with a powerful bladed weapon. Well, sure does sound a lot like Steppenwolf, doesn't it? And we all saw what Superman did to Steppenwolf. Combine his strength with his speed, and it was over before it ever even began. And if you want to say, well, Thanos is more powerful than Steppenwolf by far, so that's not really a fair comparison, let's look into it a little bit. Because Steppenwolf might be more powerful than you think. He's Darkseid's uncle, the leader of the Parademon army, and a threat to the whole Justice League. In fact, you could argue that he's more powerful than even Doomsday for two reasons. One, Steppenwolf was able to fight and overpower both Aquaman and Wonder Woman at the same time, even though Wonder Woman was able to fight on her own against Doomsday. Secondly, Steppenwolf has actually fought against his own Doomsday within the lore of the DCEU. There's more than one Doomsday. Steppenwolf fought against one, beat it, and in the process, they destroyed one of the moons surrounding Krypton. So yeah, it's kinda hard to say that Thanos is definitively more powerful than this guy. They seem to be roughly comparable. And again, we all saw what Superman did to Thanos. I don't see it playing out really any differently this time around too, especially since Thanos doesn't have the speed to contend with Superman and has already struggled one-on-one against people before, like Captain Marvel, even Captain America for a brief second. Heck, Thor nearly killed him. That was when he had the Infinity Gauntlet. I think Superman wins this fight, and it honestly might not even be that close. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.